What you are seeing on screen is the Greater Golden Horseshoe. It's an urban region centered around the city of Toronto in Canada. This region is a money-making engine for the country. You can even call it the Greater Los Angeles of Canada. It produces everything from sleek cars to wine to world-class movies. In fact, if you own a car, there's a good chance that it was made here. This place also served as a setting for many memorable movies to date.
Find out that everyone hates me? I don't care.
Regina, please!
While this region does have its fair share of wins, there's an urgent problem that it needs to address. A problem that can literally bring its millions of residents to a halt. To sustain its diverse amount of industries, it needs people. That's why nearly 10 million people call this region home. And this number is only going to go up with time. According to estimates, the GGH region will add 1 million people every 5 years. So by 2051, the area will be standing at 15 million residents. To make matters worse, the current public transport is already struggling. Transit routes such as the Subway Line 1 are operating near or over capacity. Suburban areas like Scarborough, York Region, and Mississauga lack subway access. That's why most people ditch the subway and use a car. The graph here shows that around 60% of people in GGH use cars as a mode of travel. As a result, this happens. To brace for a population bloom, the Ontario government is redesigning its whole transport system. Under this initiative, new highways will be created and the current subways will be expanded. Much of the focus would be on Toronto, the capital of Ontario province. Toronto will see 4 new subway projects within the same decade. Among them is the brand new subway line known as the Ontario Line. The remaining 3 lines are extensions of existing transit lines. All right, let's start with the Ontario Line. This will be a 9.6-mile subway line that will make it faster and easier to travel within Toronto and beyond. Remember the crowded Line 1 we discussed earlier? Line 1 is one of the busiest subway lines in Toronto, especially in the downtown core. The Ontario Line will create an alternative route, allowing riders to bypass the busiest sections of Line 1. It will run from Exhibition Place to the Ontario Science Centre. Between these 2 points, there will be 15 stations. Trips from one end of the city to the other end will take only 30 minutes as opposed to an hour. Its promotional video promises modern electrical vehicles that are driverless. The subway stations will also feature a sleek interior with transparent platform doors. Since the trains are fully automated, it will reduce the need for excessive labor. In this way, 40 trains per hour can be operated on this route. You will find a train waiting for you every 2 minutes at the station. This is a game changer for underserved regions, especially Scarborough, Don Mills, and Exhibition Place. So how long do Canadians have to wait for this line? The most recent updates tell us that the year 2031 will be the year of completion. That sounds like a long wait. But the project's complexity makes up for it. Toronto has a diverse terrain. The new line would have to adapt to its atmosphere. For this purpose, the engineers have designed a mix of underground, elevated, and at-grade sections. For example, much of the downtown area will have an underground track. This will spare the disruption to high-density areas like Queen Station or Osgood Station. The Ontario Line will also have multiple bridges to cross the Don River. Construction is already underway on the Lower Don Bridge. This bridge will carry trains between Corktown and Riverside while crossing the river. In some sections, the Ontario trains will run alongside the GO trains. At the moment, existing tracks are being repositioned to make way for the new line. If you live in Toronto, you can already see new bridges rising in different places. In the long run, these electric trains will reduce fuel consumption by 7.2 million liters annually. The Ontario Line aims to be accessible and usable by all. Once fully operational, these trains will reduce 28,000 car trips every day. However, as with most megaprojects, there's always a trade-off. The Ontario Line will cost 27 billion Canadian dollars to build and operate for the next 30 years. This means that a single mile will cost 2.8 billion Canadian dollars. The project has already consumed $5 billion from taxpayers so far. But that's the thing with trains. They are quite expensive to build and maintain. For example, California is building a high-speed rail. Even though it's far from completion, the project is already $100 billion short. In other words, Canada isn't alone when it comes to funding troubles. However, it can't be denied that a crucial city like Toronto needs reliable and modern public transport. It can't just leave people relying on outdated and frankly unsafe infrastructure. For much of Canada's history, the topic of public transport was merely reduced to verbal debates. But there was one event that changed everything. On the evening of July 24th, 2023, a train derailed near Ellesmere Station. This train was part of the Scarborough Rapid Transit and was carrying 45 passengers. Fortunately, there were no fatalities and only a few passengers sustained injuries. This event highlighted the state of public transport in Scarborough. The Scarborough Rapid Transit system has been operating since 1985. After this incident, it was completely shut down and replaced with shuttle buses until the subway extension is complete.
The decision comes one day after transit riders held a mock funeral for the TTC's Line 3. The aging system was originally set to be decommissioned in November, but that process has now been sped up as part of an ongoing review.
The new subway extension will connect Line 2, ensuring that Scarborough residents have direct access to downtown Toronto. It will start at Kennedy Station and end at Shepherd Avenue. This will be a big relief for those who have to change modes of transport for a single trip. If you had to travel to downtown Toronto, you first need to take a local bus to an RT station. This would have taken you as far as Kennedy Station. At Kennedy Station, you would have to transfer once again to Line 2 subway. That's a lot of effort for a simple trip. The new subway extension will eliminate the need for the Scarborough RT entirely. With 3 new subway stations, Lawrence East, Scarborough Centre, and McCowan Road, no destination is too far. Once you board the subway, you can directly reach downtown Toronto without any transfers in between. The tunneling work has already begun, and the extension will be operational by 2030. If you like the video so far, kindly take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We bring the latest news in the construction industry with 2 fun videos each week. The next leg of the subway project is the Yonge North Subway Extension. This is somewhat of a controversial route, with many voicing their concern against it. So what exactly is the problem with this route? To find out, we first need to understand why this extension is being built. Remember Line 1 we talked about earlier? It's one of the busiest routes in Toronto and the longest subway line in the city. If you look at its map, it forms somewhat of a U-shaped path. During its journey, it passes major hubs like Union Station, Bloor-Yonge Station, and Finch Station. So it's no surprise why it's so crowded. The Yonge North Extension will extend Line 1 further north. It will start from the Finch Station and extend all the way to Richmond Hill. Currently, Finch Station serves as a major transit hub for commuters from the York region. The extension will add 5 more stations, thereby reducing congestion at the Finch Station. York is one of the fastest growing areas in the Greater Toronto Area. By 2051, its population will exceed 2 million. An extension like this is the need of the hour. Together with the Ontario line, the Yonge North Extension will provide much-needed relief to Lane 1. The Ontario line will provide an alternate route for southbound riders, while the Yonge North Extension will tackle the northern end. Sounds like a good plan. So why are people upset about this? The proposed route of the extension passes underneath a neighborhood known as the Royal Orchard. A massive portion of this extension will be underground.
We're worried about environmental reasons. We're worried about noise and vibrations. This is supposedly going to go about 10 meters under our basements.
The original route went underneath 40 homes and an additional 23 properties. As a result of the backlash, Metrolinx had to redefine its plans. The new route passes under fewer homes and is at least 70 feet deep. Up till now, we have discussed vertical subway lines only. This next subway route is horizontal. Line 5 is one of the most famous east-west corridors. Because of Toronto's generous width, this line stretches 12 miles and accommodates 25 stations in between. The new extension will expand the subway westward by almost 6 miles. It will connect the existing RT station at Mount Dennis and stretch it to Renforth Drive. Upon completion, it will create a continuous transit line that stretches from Scarborough through Midtown Toronto and into Mississauga. The extension will link with various local and regional transit options, making travel faster and more convenient. These include the UP Express, Geo Transit Rail Services, TTC buses, and others. The original plan is to have 10 stations along this horizontal route. However, there's also the possibility of linking it with the Pearson International Airport. The yellow line here shows the possible route for the future. If this plan goes ahead, 3 subway stations will be added on this track. In the long run, this route will reduce 6,000 tons of annual greenhouse emissions. It's estimated that around 70,000 passengers will ride it daily. In this way, thousands of individuals will have access to a decent mode of transport. However, the work doesn't end here. Improving connectivity is a multifaceted challenge. It requires improvement in all aspects of transit like highways, buses, metro, and roads. In this context, there are two projects of immense importance: Highway 413 and Bradford Bypass. Without these two, Ontario's gridlock will nearly triple in the upcoming years. Highway 413 will pass through the municipalities of Vaughan, Caledon, Brampton, and Halton Hills. It will be 36 miles in length and could save you up to 30 minutes each way. This 6-lane route will serve as an outer ring road around the areas of Brampton and Vaughan. The highway is currently undergoing an environmental review. This route is going to cut through portions of Ontario's greenbelt, including farmland and wetlands. Opponents worry about ecological damage and question its long-term necessity. On the other hand, we have the Bradford Bypass. It's going to be much shorter than Highway 413. That's because it's sandwiched between Highway 400 and Highway 404. Its construction is already underway, with major contracts being rewarded to the relevant authorities. Much like the subway projects, the Bradford Highway will be completed by the end of the decade. If you're interested in transit projects like these, take a look at this video we created about California's high-speed rail. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will catch up in the next video.